Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys once again for joining in. Hopefully all of you had a great 4th of July, spent it on the lake, on a boat, with the family, and had some beer. So, as always, we're going to jump right into it. As you can see by the headline of the video, those are the stocks that I will probably, for some reason they didn't, that's weird, they didn't load. That's weird. All right, well, I guess I'll have to fix that. That's weird. I put them in the title of the video, and now they're not there, but that's okay. Let me write them down here. BG, Tesla. All right, cool. Yeah, I had them in the title, and then all of a sudden they just kind of took off. So I'll talk about MU and why it dropped and all those good things. So we're going to go ahead, start sharing the screen, and we'll get into it. All right, so first stock here on my watch list today is going to be, I'll just start here with Tesla. So Tesla, for one, the reason I like Tesla is because of the 2 big red days it had. So these 2 massive red days dropping from about 365 all the way down to a low of about 310. All right, so Tesla, the reason I like it is because it had these 2 massive red days. And if you look back, just a few months back, you could see it was holding a strong resistance here at about 310. Tesla was. So right about 310, Tesla had some strong resistance. Now that we've curled up, we broke through that. So now this is most likely what's going to happen. See, it had resistance here, came back, resistance, resistance. It broke through the resistance, and now it's dropped all the way back down, and it will most likely find support here and start to bounce a little bit. So I think with the recent big rollover and drop on Tesla, there's going to be some short sellers in there that need to cover, and we should maybe see a little bit of a spike. So I think primarily just going to be watching Tesla today, playing on the idea that there's going to be an early morning pop or even a run to the upside today because it got short sold so much over the past 2 days. All right, so I'm definitely going to be keeping, I forgot A&W. I did forget A&W. I meant to put that on there as well. So we'll take a look at A&W too. So again, there's pretty much the analysis on Tesla. There's really not too much more to it. Tesla got short sold pretty heavy over the past couple of days. They had some negative news pop out that this is one of the reasons Tesla went down so much is because what is it? Something about their brake system. Where to go? Okay, so Tesla cut the brake roll test on the Model 3 production. So towards the end of the Model 3 production recently, they stopped testing. They did they cut corners and stopped testing the brake fuel or brake line, something like that. This is what it is. Tesla eliminated brake tests in the final days of the Model 3 production. And with that being said, that helped drive the price down. So all in all, Tesla got shorted pretty hard past couple days. It runs a strong chance of having a little bit of a short squeeze today. So that's what I'm playing on. The idea that Tesla will, in fact, be a long bias trade, playing on the idea that there's some short sellers that need to cover up. We are right down on support of like 313, the 310 area. Okay, so watching Tesla long bias today, for me, it's going to be over probably 315 over the pre-market high. And then, of course, always map off like, 320s, 325s as your resistance areas. So that's what I'll be looking for on Tesla is a long bias trade today. All right, next I'll cover MU. So MU right here. So MU got this drastically bad news. So you can see this huge drop on MU. It came out of nowhere, but the reason it dropped so significantly is, I guess, let's see. there's some news that apparently China was not going to be accepting any of Micron chip sales or something along those lines. China banned Micron's computer chips from being sold there, and something along that line. And that's what really caused MU to take a significant drop. So it was a news break or a news release that caused Micron to start going down, right? That's really what did it. Is there was a news release on Micron that was negative, and therefore Tesla just kind of got crushed. So there's kind of a lot going on. So Tesla, or not Tesla, but MU this morning, as you can see, this area right here, MU this morning is pushing pretty high. It's pushing up again. So it's trying to recover from this move that it had on Tuesday. So what you should do is mark off right where Tesla dropped pretty hard on Tuesday. That's the resistance. So chances are we're probably going to see MU maybe even move up to this $54 area. Once it hits 54, it's probably going to see resistance, and it could start pulling back from there. So I would expect today we're probably going to see MU maybe even move up towards the 54 mark, hit 54, and start coming down. If it does break through 54, it's then going to try maybe go to 55 or these previous high areas from Tuesday's trading. Okay, so I would be watching MU initially long, but then short bias. Okay, so for me, just gonna watch MU today. Might get short around that $54 area. There is most likely going to be a pullback at 54. When you look at it from this point of view, I mean, right? It drops, dumps, squeeze all the way back to here. Most likely do something like that. And then maybe a higher low and then long. So MU for me is more of a short bias trade this morning. Okay. Next one on the list we'll talk about will be DFBG. So DFBG, penny stock. All right, you can see it was a penny stock, popped up, went to about $7, faded out. Now it's popping up again. So clearly, DFBG is coming up to some resistance areas. So for me, it's less of a long bias trade the higher it gets up because I'd rather wait for it to pull back before wanting to long it. Hold on one second. So, hold on. Why are those? Well, they must be off now. One second. So all those green levels I just mapped off are pretty much either the support or resistance. So DFBG has resistance at 650, and then it has even more resistance up towards the $7 mark at $6.94. Okay, so for me, DFBG is a long bias trade. It does have some news this morning, so you can check that out in the news channel. But the higher DFBG gets, the less I'm interested in longing it, because as I stated before, the higher these penny stocks push pre-market, the more susceptible they are to crashing out of the gates. A great example of this would be GBR. So do you guys remember just on Tuesday, I said the likelihood of GBR going higher is less likely, and it's most likely going to top out here and perform a double top pattern. If you're not familiar, you could go back and watch the video, but I specifically said this will most likely pop up and crash out of the gates, in which it did just that. So do note that anytime you see penny stocks do something like this and they squeeze really hard in the morning, they're always susceptible to pulling back very hard out of the gates or crashing and burning. So taking a look back at DFBG, DFBG might do just the exact same thing. It's squeezed all the way up into previous resistance. So I would be assuming that we're most likely going to see it pull back out of the gates. Okay. So DFBG for me is most likely going to be short unless it can get through $7. If it can push higher, break over $7 and hold above $7, then I might be interested in taking a long position on it. Next one, we'll talk about ANW. We'll see how this thing's still doing. Earlier it was doing pretty well. Don't know what it's doing now. Okay, so pushed up to 2. So we'll start here at the yearly time frame. If you look at the yearly chart, DFBG, or not DFBG, the yearly chart on ANW had a really big gap down starting at about $3. From $3, it then gapped all the way down to like a low of $1. Just recently it was at about 70 cents, and now it's squeezed all the way back up to about the $2 mark, right in this area. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at right now on ANW. So based on this chart and based on the yearly chart, ANW has room to run up to, probably 275, and then over 275, it would see some resistance at about $3. So it has some room to run up until about $3, and then that's where it's going to see some resistance or some major resistance spots. So right now, ANW is on an uptrend. So from the morning, that's not what I want. So from the morning earlier till now, we are uptrending currently. So ANW should make a move here pretty soon, either to the upside or the downside. Basically, if it can start breaking down, this trend line, we might see it go this way. If it starts breaking up above this trend line, we'll probably see it go that way. So again, ANW will be on watch today. It's got pretty good volume. It's kind of picked up. They do have some good news on this morning. Press releases do have some good news, so you can always check that out in the news channel on TOS. But again, ANW has room to run up to about $3. Does that mean it's going to run to $3? No, but it does have room to run up, as that would be the next resistance spot that I currently see. Okay. But again, right, it's a penny stock. They're not going to be reliable. So be careful on it. If you're going to trade it, you have to be careful. It's a low float stock. So if you're going to trade something like this, they have to be day trades in and out. Next one on the list is IQ. So I'm going to keep my eye on IQ still. It's been dying in volume recently. It still trades pretty good volume, but recently it has been dying down on the volume side of things. And I've been waiting for a good bounce day on IQ for a little bit. It's been bouncing, but not significant. So, at the end of the day, it got hammered pretty good. It's kind of consolidating here below some of the moving averages in this price point of about $33 to $32. At the end of the day, just going to be watching IQ for a long bias trade. In the hopes that it does start kind of pushing back up and putting in some green days. As you can see on a 180-day chart, let me go to this. So on a 180-day chart, you can see it's starting to trend up, just starting to. So if it can break over about $34 strong, then I think we're going to see a good pop on IQ. So I'll be watching IQ long today. Doesn't have a whole lot of volume, doesn't look that great pre-market, but I'm going to keep it on watch just in case. Okay. So another one to keep an eye on actually would be BABA. I think BABA is going to be a good long bias trade here. If the market starts recovering to the upside, I think we're going to see some good moves coming on BABA too. Just looking at the chart here on BABA, it's dumped. It's kind of testing some support areas and starting to kind of curl up and around. It's putting in a higher low on a 180-day chart, so I'm going to keep Bob on watch for a long bias trade today as well. I don't know if BZUN would be a better long or not. BZUN, lower volume. BZUN, same kind of thing, testing a support area, started bouncing there. So it's the kind of long there is already gone because it already really started moving back up. But you can keep it on watch. Let's see. All right, now I'll just take a few minutes to run through some of the stocks you guys are having questions about. WTI. WTI, low volume trading stock. So if you're going to trade this one, it should be more or less probably a swing trading stock. Where's it at? 689, 689. So right now, I would just be neutral on WTI. It's holding above the 50 moving average, which is good, but I would say in the coming days, it's going to either pick a direction to the upside or downside. It's currently uptrending, but the chart looks pretty weak. It actually looks a little bearish to me, that is. So I would be neutral on that. I probably wouldn't mess around trading it. It's hard to say which direction it's going to go because just based on the patterns, and it's staying above the 50 moving average, and this is what's going to happen. It's either going to pop up or it's going to come down. So I think follow it for the next couple of days, and you should have it should, pick a direction of which way it's going to go. Oh, GBR. That's right. I didn't really cover GBR. Hold on. I do want to cover GBR. So GBR, I'll be watching GBR for a long today. Theoretically, it's more bearish than it is bullish. I mean, if you look at this big red day here, it was massive, but the price is all the way down to the 9 moving average. So theoretically, we should actually bounce a little bit off the 9 moving average. Probably, I would assume today, maybe not at all. But this chart here pre-market is already telling us that it doesn't really want to move lower yet, right? We actually popped up, pulled back, popped up again, and now it's kind of just curling. So it's still trending down. But, it is holding a good support pre-market in which we could see it start popping. So this is what you need to know about DFBG. Is DFBG on Tuesday got short sold like crazy all the way back down to some support levels. So if this does hold up and it doesn't start breaking down, we could see all the people who shorted the stock on Tuesday start covering up and cause a pop. So I'll be watching GBR to the long side today early in the morning for a short squeeze. Okay. Let's see. I'll just pick Netflix. Sure, why not? Netflix. Netflix is very hard to judge what's going to happen because right now it's going through consolidation. Excuse me. So yeah, if you look at a 180-day chart and look at just the past couple of days, you can see it's just kind of chopping back and forth, going through consolidation. So it currently has some resistance here at about 402, and it has some support right about 390. So that's kind of the channel it's trading in, from 402 to 390s. So what I would basically do for Netflix is try and catch it on the lows towards 390 for longs and try and catch it for a short towards the highs at 400. That's kind of the way I would look to play Netflix. SPLK. Let's see what's going on here. So yeah, SPLK rolled over, dumped out, kind of bouncing off the 200 moving average, but it's also rejecting the 9. So I would wait a little bit on SPLK until you at least get some confirmation of a higher low. So look for something like this. Once you have that, that's where I'd say look to maybe long it, because currently it's just rejecting the 9 and we might start pushing back down. So I'd wait for a higher low confirmation on SPLK before deciding to maybe trade that long. Okay. And that is all I have for you guys today. So hopefully the watch list helps. So I'm going to keep GBR on watch for a long. I'll keep GBR, DFBG's on watch, ANW's on watch, IQ. So all the stocks, I'm gonna relabel the video. For whatever reason, it kind of disappeared. So I'm gonna relabel that. So if you guys just want to look at the title here in a few minutes to see which stocks I'll be watching today, you can feel free to do so. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you once again for tuning in. I don't have the time to go over all the stocks, which I do apologize about, as there's always plenty of them to do. So with that being said, guys, I will see you guys all tomorrow morning for another watch list. Other than that, have a great trading day and stay green.